The reason I got involved and how I got involved is me and a number of friends were sitting around and we thought, because we're all into golf, it'd be fun to do a golf tournament. And one of my friends said, well, why don't we do one for a charity? And I said, okay, well, what charity do you want to do? And he says, breast cancer. And I was like, well, why? And he said, well, my sister's a survivor. And I was like, well, that's funny because my mom passed from breast cancer. Another guy that was on the committee, he said, my mom's a survivor. So there's three of us right off the bat. So it was perfect, and that's how it really started. I was 15 at the time. Dad didn't necessarily shelter us from it. We always knew what was going on, but we didn't know a lot of the details. I know she was diagnosed in early 1990. At that point, there was not the emphasis on early detection that there is today. So therefore, by the time they caught it, it was too late by the time they caught it. So at that point, it was basically they were trying to treat it, make her comfortable. They did try some radiation a number of times. They tried a few transfusions, things of that nature. And finally, she got to the point to where she says, you know what, this isn't working. I don't want to go through this anymore. She did have a mastectomy. So she went through that, but they weren't getting any positive results, really. It just kept growing and advancing. So at one point she said, you know what, I just want to be comfortable and be home and enjoy the family. The awareness factor, early detection, that's a big thing nowadays because that's the closest to a cure that we have right now. And it is good to be self-aware, but at the same time, don't take that for granted. Still go seek a professional when it's time. The emphasis on that was not what it is today, that's for sure. And I attribute that greatly to the organization that I'm a part of, Komen, Upper Cumberland, and Susan G. Komen for the Cure on the national level. They've done a lot of big things in terms of breast cancer awareness. Most people, when they do detect a lump, granted we're talking in recent times, there's really no question what they have to do. And when you consider the alternative, it's pretty much a no-brainer. You have to go get checked. Some may not have the resources, again, where Komen kicks in. The ABC support group here in town, that's a great group. A lot of women that are currently battling cancer or survivors. They kind of lean on each other, and they've essentially formed a makeshift family, so to speak, because it's something it's tough to go through, any kind of cancer. So those support groups, along with the early detection and everything else, makes a huge difference. Nurse navigation, back then Mom did not have that resource. That would have been great to have someone essentially walk with you through the whole experience. They've been there, they've done that, they know, hey, I can, you're going to experience this, you're going to go through this, you're going to deal with this. And that makes a huge difference, if that was around, back when Mom was diagnosed, that may not have made a huge difference in terms of the outcome, but it definitely would have been a big help as far as knowing what you're getting into. Anytime you can have someone who's been there, done that, to calm you, that helps with treatment as well, The biggest hope I have for my daughter would be that she continues the awareness, the knowledge that these things are important, and just to make sure that she passes that on to the next generation. Awareness and just educating herself on what's out there, the dangers. I want her to be prepared for the world, and to be prepared for something like this that she can pass on to her kids is really the ultimate goal. I do it for her. Happy Mother's Day.